Welcome to the CISO Daily Update.
Owner of only U.S. platinum mine confirms data breach after ransomware claims. The only platinum and palladium mine owner in the U.S., Stillwater Mining Company, confirmed a data breach after a ransomware attack by the Ransom Hub Group exposed the sensitive data of 7,258 employees, including social security numbers and financial information. The attack was discovered in July, but traced back to June, and is under investigation by external cybersecurity experts. Ransom Hub leaked the stolen data in August. This breach follows layoffs of 700 workers at Stillwater's Montana mines, which the company and U.S. officials attribute to Russia flooding the U.S. market with cheaper palladium, affecting prices and jobs. More than 1,000 ServiceNow instances leaking corporate data via knowledge bases. Over 1,000 enterprise ServiceNow instances exposed sensitive corporate data through misconfigured knowledge base access controls. Nearly 45% of tested instances leaked data like PII, system details, and credentials due to improper use of user criteria, which do not offer the same security as access control lists. Older instances, particularly those predating the Orlando release, were more vulnerable. Organizations are urged to review KB access settings, activate default security features, and use diagnostics to prevent unauthenticated access and potential data breaches. Chinese hacker targeted NASA, U.S. military to steal critical software. The U.S. Department of Justice indicted Chinese national Song Wu for orchestrating a multi-year phishing campaign targeting NASA, the Air Force, and key U.S. military branches. Wu sought to steal specialized aerospace software and source code critical to military technologies. Working for Aviation Industry Corporation of China, he impersonated researchers and engineers to deceive victims into providing restricted information. Wu faces multiple wire fraud and identity theft charges, with potential sentences of up to 20 years per count. Ransomware gangs now abuse Microsoft Azure tool for data theft. Ransomware gangs are increasingly using Microsoft's Azure Storage Explorer and AsCopy tools to steal data from breached networks and store it in Azure Blob Storage. These tools, typically trusted and not blocked by corporate firewalls, allow attackers to exfiltrate large volumes of data quickly and undetected. Researchers from ModePush noted that attackers had to upgrade .NET and install dependencies to use these tools, indicating a focus on data theft for extortion. To defend against such attacks, organizations should monitor Azure-related network traffic, enable logging, and ensure proper session logout configurations. CISA urges software devs to weed out XSS vulnerabilities. CISA and the FBI are urging tech manufacturers to eliminate cross-site scripting vulnerabilities from their software, which continue to pose significant security risks despite being preventable. XSS flaws arise from inadequate input validation, allowing attackers to inject malicious scripts into web applications. The agencies advise using modern web frameworks with output encoding functions, conducting thorough code reviews, and implementing secure-by-design practices to address and prevent these vulnerabilities. This alert is part of CISA's broader secure-by-design initiative aimed at addressing persistent software weaknesses. Apple iOS 18 released with fixes for 32 security vulnerabilities. Apple released iOS 18, addressing 32 security vulnerabilities across its operating system. Key fixes include resolving issues with Siri, allowing unauthorized data access from the lock screen, securing Safari private browsing tabs, and patches for vulnerabilities in Core Bluetooth, File Provider, WebKit, and the kernel. The update also improves security for accessibility features, Game Center, Imagio, and Wi-Fi. Users with compatible devices are urged to update to protect against these vulnerabilities. U.S. CISA adds Microsoft Windows MSHTML platform and Progress WhatsUp Gold to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog. CISA added 2 new vulnerabilities to its known exploited vulnerabilities catalog, CVE 2020-43461 and CVE 2020-46670. CVE 2020-43461, a Windows MSHTML platform spoofing vulnerability, allows remote code execution if a user interacts with a malicious file or website. Despite a July 2024 patch, attackers have bypassed it, making it critical to apply both July and September updates. CVE 2020-46670 affects Progress WhatsUp Gold, allowing SQL injection and unauthenticated access to encrypted passwords. Federal agencies must address these vulnerabilities by October 7, 2024, and private organizations are advised to review and secure their systems accordingly. PKfail secure boot bypass remains a significant risk 2 months later. The PKfail vulnerability, CVE 2024-8105, remains a significant risk 2 months after its discovery, affecting devices with untrusted secure boot cryptographic keys. Approximately 9% of tested firmware images from major manufacturers like Acer, Dell, HP, and Lenovo were found using these non-production keys, leaving systems vulnerable to UEFI malware attacks. Binarly's PKfail scanner identified nearly 800 vulnerable firmware images, including those in medical devices, ATMs, and even voting machines. While many vendors have responded with firmware updates, some devices may remain unpatched, requiring isolation and restricted physical access for security. Hospitals need tribal approach to protect against hackers, says expert. Hospitals, especially smaller ones, are increasingly vulnerable to cyber attacks, with potential consequences such as increased patient mortality rates during ransomware incidents. Field CISO Richard Cassidy emphasizes the need for a tribal cybersecurity approach where hospitals collaborate and share expertise to bolster defenses. Outdated technology, complex ecosystems, and a focus on regulatory compliance over innovation leave hospitals susceptible. Cassidy advocates for prioritizing resilience through preparedness exercises and government support for under-resourced healthcare providers to prevent devastating cyber attacks. CVE Backlog Update. The NVD struggles as attackers change tactics. The National Vulnerability Database is struggling with a significant backlog due to budget cuts and a surge in reported vulnerabilities, with 93.4% of new and 50.8% of known exploited vulnerabilities still pending analysis. NIST's efforts to address the backlog, aided by an $860,000 contract with Analogence, aim to clear it by September 2024. However, attackers are now targeting medium and low-severity vulnerabilities more frequently, making it critical for security teams to enhance visibility, focus on exploitability, share security responsibilities, and utilize alternative resources like CISA's Vulnenrichment and the CVE program.
Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe to our newsletter at CISOheadlines.com. Until next time, stay curious.